What should go inside your listing marketing plan? Your plan to get your new listing sold. If that's something you want to talk about, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Mike Cerrone with 2 listings per month, and I thought it'd be a good idea for us to chat about what you should put into your marketing plan that you present to the seller. This being the plan to sell their house. Okay, so not the plan for you to increase your business, but the plan for you to sell their house. What are you going to do to get this home sold? So that's going to be part of your listing presentation. You can give it before your presentation in a pre-listing packet, which is a good idea. But you also definitely want to talk about it when you're at the listing presentation. Again, how are you going to sell their home? So before I tell you what mine is, I think what you should do is think about, how do I want to go about selling this home? You've done it before. I assume if you're an experienced agent, you already have a plan of action. Hopefully you have it written down and you present it. If not, this is a great opportunity to do that. And if you have not written it down, then go ahead and start using this process of just take a list out and write down all the things you're going to do to get this home sold. And you want to be able to present that to the seller as your plan of action. All right. What else can I do? If you already have a plan of action or a listing marketing plan, then go ahead and review it at this time. Maybe this will be the opportunity for you to do that. And by the way, I'm not telling you mine is the best. No, this is just something I've pieced back together as I'm starting this journey. And so I'll share with you some of the things that I have in my plan. And then you can take that, you can think, oh, I like that idea, and add it, or boy, I'll never do that, and you could take it out. That's all good, but this is just an opportunity for a review and possible improvement. How's that? All right, so here's what we've got in my plan of action, and let me pull this up. So the things that you're going to do, again, you just want to make a list so you can show and present all the things you're going to do. So we're going to have a yard sign. If they're a condo or townhome, maybe a window sign, but we're going to have a sign, for sale sign, right? I know that's the basics, right? Before I go into the list any further, something I found that the top agents do is they make sure to describe all the things that you would assume that the seller would know. They don't assume the seller knows. They're going to present that information, right? So, and they're going to take things that we all take for granted being in the industry, and they're going to present them to the seller as the advantages and the benefits that they are. Oftentimes, because we're in the business, we forget that all these little things we do add up to the success, in this case, of a sale. And if you fall into the trap of letting a seller convince you that you don't actually do anything, I've been starting to talk to sellers again, and they say that a lot. They say things like, oh, after the first couple of days, you don't really do anything. You just sit around and wait. Okay. There's all this work that goes into making sure this property is presented properly, and marketed properly and negotiated properly. You got to make sure that that information is shared with the seller. Now, if you were to actually make a list, and some folks have, it could be monstrous, like several hundred actions that you take. Some of those you're going to have to reduce down and summarize, because you can't present, well, you could present 100 things, but it'll be so overbearing that most sellers won't pay attention. So let me show you, or let me go through my list, and you'll kind of get the idea. And by the way, if you do like or don't like things I'm putting down here, go ahead and say that down in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. And if I don't mention something that you like to do, please write that down. We can add it to our list. And as vice versa, as I said, if there's things on this list you don't like, you can mention those down below. But let's go ahead and get through this list. So we've got a yard sign, showing service with email and text notification, lockbox, whether you're using manual or electronic, you can push the benefits of either of those. Seller agent representation. So every state is different. In my state, we have seller agency and transaction brokerage to represent a seller. In the old days, when I was getting going, we even had dual agency, but we don't currently have that anymore in Colorado. know what yours is and what you are going to offer, that becomes a benefit. In my case, seller agency, where I'm going to be representing the benefits of the seller. The recent listing I took, I had to point that out, that was a huge benefit to the seller. And once he got that and it clicked, it was very powerful for him to make the decision that I'd be the right person. So again, all these things we take for granted, they have to be explained to someone who doesn't buy and sell homes every day. All right, let's keep going. So I'm going to give them price advice. These are all in my list of things I'm going to do. Contract negotiation, transaction management from pending to close, easy exit listing agreement. So I allow someone to terminate my agreement, the seller to terminate my agreement at any time with a 7-day notice. So if they give a notice, written notice, within 7 days, the agreement is done. In the old days, I didn't have the 7 days. It just was any day. I had it in the old days where I charged a fee for that. I didn't charge a fee for that. I've done a lot of different things. This case, we're not charging a fee for it, which came up in my recent listing appointment. And they thought that was a benefit because this was a person who was worried about junk fees. I know I'm digressing and jumping all around, but hopefully this is helpful. Communication guarantee. So I'm going to communicate with the seller once a week. If I fail to do that, I'm going to pay them a fee. I'm going to pay a penalty. And people like that if they've been an expired. That's a powerful presentation or offer for an expired. And then I say, I won't say the percentage, but I say what I'm going to pay as far as a buyer agent compensation. Okay, I want them to know that that's included in this package. Again, you got to assume they don't know anything, and you've got to break this all out. Other things that we have listed, I say we all the time, by the way, it's just me, but in the old days, it used to be a we. When I ran a little team, this project, I'm just running this solo. The multiple listing service, that's going to be there. Obviously, most people are looking for that. I shouldn't say obviously, because they don't necessarily know what that means. I've had to describe over the phone or in person how that MLS works, and the fact that the syndication will amp things out to other websites, and they'll ask for specific websites. Do you mean my home will be on XYZ? Yeah, and it's because of the syndication, and I kind of have to explain the back end of the system, that what we put in the MLS gets mirrored or shared out there into the world. And so anyway, when they get that, they can appreciate it, and you can go deep into that on your presentation, that you're going to do more than just enter this address in the MLS. There's a lot more, as you know, that we put in, and all that work that goes into presenting that properly and making sure you have all the accurate information. Well, the seller needs to know that you're doing all that work. On a recent listing presentation, again, and I've had it in our other conversations, where these sellers think that you're just going to walk in and work for 3 minutes and you're going to make $1 million. You have to describe to them. And the way I got it past, explained it to this fella, got it past his wall or his barrier, was I said, I asked what his industry was, and I started talking in his business. And I said, a lot of people probably think you walk in and they only see you for an hour to get this project done, and they think they're going to pay you $5,000 for this hour of work that you did, but you had to do all this 10 to 15 and maybe even 20 hours of preparation before, and the post work before you get to that result. And he said, well, yeah, that's right. And I said, well, that's what we do too. So we have to do all this work before, after, and during to make this thing happen that you don't see. You're seeing me in front of you for an hour and you think that's all that I'm working, but I'm doing all this work in the background. If you can explain it in their industry or their life's work, then they understand it. So if they're not in sales, you could explain it as their boss, right? The situation between them and their boss, or them and the public, them and the customer. If they're not working in the business world, you can explain it them and their spouse, or them and their kids, or you can do other arrangements where they're having to answer to somebody, but the other person doesn't see how much work is going on in the background. You want to start thinking of examples to describe that to them if you run into that situation, or just present it. That's the other thing, by the way, a beautiful part of a listing presentation is you're presenting stuff before it becomes a problem. You're kind of solving or answering the objection before it comes up. All right, I'll keep going on my list. We've got photos. How are you going to do photos? Are you going to do them by your photos, the seller's photos? You're going to hire a professional photographer. How many photos? You're going to explain that and how that works, and which service or level of service of photography are you going to do? Is it going to be just photos? Are you going to do a video tour, drone photography, a Matterport? What are you going to do? Anyway, you'll explain that. You may offer moving boxes. We offer 25 moving boxes, and that's real simple today. You just order it on Amazon and have it sent to their address. If that's something that's advantageous to them, you could have a cleaning service. We offer 4 hours of pre-listing cleaning where they go into a deep clean into each of the rooms, mainly in the bathrooms and the kitchens and so forth, but that's something that's an advantage. A new listing launch. So if you have a coming soon opportunity in your MLS, I've just remarketed that as a new listing launch, and I explain how that creates a fury of buyer activity, or it can still in this market, where you get a lot of the benefit to them is multiple buyers with potentially multiple offers, a higher price, and a faster sell, right? And then you can describe how that actually works with the coming soon and how you're setting it up and structuring it. Again, these are all your benefits. Your competitors may be doing it, but they're not describing it to the seller, and so they're not getting any credit. That's with all these items. You have to be able to describe it to the seller. You get the credit, and they're more likely to hire you, right? They see how much work you're going to do, and they have more. It comes down to the fact that they now have more confidence and trust in the fact that you're going to get this job done. By the way, I'm doing all this to strangers. They don't know me yet. So I have to show them my benefits. It's much easier to go out and list friends, family, and past clients. By the way, as you know from me, if you can build up your referral database, it's going to be way easier. But if you don't have that, or you want to grow your business, you got to go reach out to strangers, and you're going to have to present all your benefits. And one final note on that, even to your referrals, people that already do know, like, and trust you, you should walk them through all this so they know what you're doing, so they can tell their friends, oh my gosh, my agent does this, 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 and this. Does yours? This is amazing. All right. So we got that new listing launch. I mentioned earlier, you could talk about doing the video tour or drone photography. By the way, on that one, I put where allowed, because not every municipality will allow the drones to fly around. So I just say, hey, it's where it's allowed. And then we have postcard promotion. We're going to go out to 100 of the neighbors to let them know about the home being for sale. And I mentioned that birds of a feather flock together. A lot of your neighbors here, they may have friends or family or coworkers who have been to their home that want to move into this neighborhood, and we're going to make sure that they know that your property is for sale. So that's another advantage. And then we have a certain day sold guarantee. I'll just tell you the old one. It's like a 60-day sold guarantee. If we're going to sell your home in 60 days, if we fail to do that, I'm going to pay them $500. Because that's how confident I am. I'm going to get this done in a reasonable amount of time. Expireds, love that one. Okay, and even the FSBOs. And so this it helps. It's another one of these little guarantees or pluses that we do. So I just went through kind of an overview. I know I jumped around a lot, and hopefully that was helpful, though, and hopefully you took a lot of notes. If you got any benefit of this, go back, rewind it, listen to it again. If you thought this was helpful, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. By the way, when you do that, it lets me know that we're on the right track and we're doing things that you want to hear about, and also lets other people know that they should check this out. And then comments, put your comments down below if you want to chat back and forth about, if you have questions about what we're doing. In this case, what kind of things do you want to add to your marketing, your listing marketing, your plan of action that you're going to present to the seller? Did I miss anything that you like to add? Okay, are there things that you like to add into your presentation, or things that you thought of while we were talking that you would want to put in your list? Help everybody else out. Go ahead and put it down in those comments down below. That'd be fantastic. I'd love to see that, and I'm sure everybody else would too. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you like what we're doing, go ahead and subscribe. and join us on this journey that we're going through to kind of figure out how are we going to get 2 listings per month. What's a plan that we can put together? This is all real time, by the way. I don't have some um, ulterior motive where I'm going to present a product. By the way, I might down the line, but I don't even know if this is going to work. This is all raw. This is something kind of unique that I'm trying out, where I'm kind of bringing you on the journey that I'm building this out and testing it, as opposed to you just meet me at the end where I got it all figured out and I present it to you, which is what I typically do. But this time I thought I'd bring you along, kind of explain what I'm doing and how it's working, and let you kind of bump along with me and maybe pick up some things. Maybe it's entertaining, maybe it's educational, maybe it's boring. If it is, don't listen to us anymore. But hopefully this has been good. And again, if you like it, give us a thumbs up. Hope this has been good for you, and keep moving forward. Take care. Bye now.